Alrighty, good evening, everybody. Let's go ahead and bring this evening's Property Committee meeting to order. Today is Monday, July 1st, 2024. It is 5 p.m. Yes, it is a little bit of a different day and a different time for our Property Committee meeting, but thank you, everybody, for being here so we can conduct business. With our roll call, we do have enough members to go ahead and conduct business with having a quorum with 4 members and missing 3 members this evening. That takes us to number 2, our consent agenda. Consent agenda includes our approval of the minutes of June 6, 2024 regular meeting, as well as our approval of the bills. The approval of the bills is a total of $192,100.98. Might I have a motion to put our consent agenda on the floor? We've got a motion by Member Byrne, and it looks like we have a second by Member Soldner. Comments or questions on our consent agenda? Seeing none, let's go ahead and vote on item number 2A and B, that approval of the minutes of June 6, 2024 regular meeting, and our approval of the bills. And the chair will be voting this evening on all items, so we're aware. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion passes. Bringing us to item number 3, our appearance by members of the public and county employees. Do we have anyone, Administrator Taylor?
Chair Lehman, we've had no requests this evening.
All righty, thank you very much. Carrying us on to item number 4, department matters. 4A is Mr. Joseph Gaither, our Director of Facilities Management. Thank you so much for being here this evening, Mr. Gaither. Looks like we have one item to be presented for action, 4A1A, and that is the request approval of an agreement with GIVSCO, GIFSCO Construction Company for the Fairview Building exterior renovations. Might I have a motion to put it on the floor? We have a motion by Vice Chair Soldner and a second by Member Byrne. Mr. Gaither, over to you for information.
Thank you. We talked a little bit last meeting regarding the exterior of the building. Most of that information I obtained through Scott's diligence and research, so I'm gonna yield this one to Scott. He is our managing this project. So,
thank you. This is just a continuation of our Fairview project. We did get the roof completed. This is the next phase of the work. I guess a quick recap is the brickwork, soffit, fascia, and the trim. This will be pretty much everything on the exterior with the exception of windows and doors. So it's a pretty big section of our remodel, and we'd like to try and get this done before the weather turns on us. Is there any questions about the proposal or the project?
Seeing no comments or questions, thank you very much, Scott, for the information, and thank you very much, Mr. Gaither, for handing it over to your expert. With no comments or questions on it, let's go ahead and bring 4A1A, the request approval of an agreement with GIFSCO Construction Company for the Fairview Building exterior renovations to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion passes. Moving right along into 4A2, Mr. Gaither with your monthly report.
thank you. Again, another busy month. We moved through a lot of items again this month. We started doing some, I guess, prep work, for lack of a better term, along with getting wells at our new animal control site. We have buttoned up the furnace and central air high efficiency system at the EMA building, as well as we've obtained the garage heaters to replace those. Those are also original to the building, so those have been purchased and we'll get those installed. Obviously they're shut off for the summer, so there was no immediate need. Those kind of dropped down the list a little bit until there's a need for those. So the Fairview building, as Scott's indicated, moving forward with that. I think one of the big things is, you guys are probably aware, is the ongoing boiler replacement in this building. We've struggled some with the temperatures in this building. I don't know if you've noticed, it's unseasonably cooler outside. We're running about 10 degrees below norm outside. So without any boilers in place to what is called add reheat to our air as we pull in fresh air from outside, we struggle a little bit when the temperature's cooler outside. So we're definitely struggling with that in this building. It's been a little bit better at the 200 West front than it has been here. And I think that's partly because that building has more sun exposure. It doesn't have this has the eastern, but we have some blockage on the west side, whereas that has mostly full sun exposure in the afternoons, which helps warm that building up, and then it holds that heat. So I think that's probably the biggest difference between the two buildings that we're seeing right now. But those both are on track. And I think then the only other thing that I wanted to make sure and point out on 200 West Front Street is we've worked with the health department team on 2 triage rooms, and we're working to get some plumbing installed so they can actually be used as clinical rooms. So I think they presented that earlier today at the health committee meeting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gaither. Comments or questions from the committee? Member Byrne.
Mr. Gaither, are you aware of any currently outstanding invoices pending with the county auditor's office that you're still waiting on?
We do have some that are outstanding that we're working with our vendors on.
Are there any of those past a due date or running into any trouble or issues getting those paid, as far as you're aware?
We do have some past due, but we haven't been assigned any late fees or anything yet.
Okay, all right, thank you. We'll follow up on that later.
And then Vice Chair Soldner.
Thank you. So at the end of your report, you mentioned you had Don Hartley completed the Certified Facility Locksmith course. I assume that's an employee?
I'm sorry, yes. That is one of the things we wanted to focus on this year, or start doing this year as we move forward, was continued education for our employees. And Don is what I would call our resident expert on locks without a lot of formal training. So we had the opportunity to get him into this course. It was a 40-hour course that was held in Pekin. And so we were able to get him involved in that, and he completed that the week of the 20th.
That's a great idea. I assume you have lots of locks and lots of keys through all the facilities in the county. And so is there I assume there's some minor bit of equipment you may have to purchase as far as key making equipment, or will you still rely on somebody else for that, or?
We haven't looked at really going to actual key making because they are a level 1 security key. So the equipment to actually cut the keys is quite expensive.
Okay.
Right now, it's more feasible to continue to have keys cut as needed by a third party.
Okay.
We probably will have some additional tools that, now that he has some additional training, that he'll be capable of using. Was one of the things that we wanted to make sure that he had the opportunity to use some different tools while he was in this course, and it was actually a hands-on course as well. So
Okay, great. No, that's a great idea. That's all.
thank you.
Final questions? Thank you very much, Joe, and thank you, Scott, for being here this evening, and thank you for everything that you've done and provided in the report for the county. It looks like y'all have been busy, so again, our thanks.
Thank you.
Let us continue forward with our department of matters and go to 4B with Mr. Mike Steffa, our Director of Parks and Recreation. It looks like Mr. Steffa has no items to be presented for action this evening. However, Mr. Steffa does have a rather robust July monthly report. So, Mr. Steffa, over to you, please.
Good evening. Yeah, the only thing that I really wanted to point out, to highlight, last week we met with our consultants, Baxter and Woodman, for the sewage treatment plant rehab project, and we're moving forward with that. We should have an RFP in place fairly soon, and we should be able to bring an informational item next month, and an item going to exec next month as well. So that's, I wanted to highlight that. That's something that's kind of been on the burner. So I'd be happy to answer any other questions if anybody has any.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steffa. Questions from the committee? Chair Metzger.
Yes, I had a couple of questions, and they really are around a lot of your events that you're preparing and monitoring and setting up these courses, and that's part of the responsibility that you have taken on. Is there any reimbursement that ever takes place on those?
Are you,
For instance,
Like-
the triathlon, the open swim, those kinds of things?
yes, we get a $3 per person, I believe it is, per participant. Plus we get fees for staffing hours, picnic shelter rentals, special permit use, things like that.
Very good. It was just, I've attended those, and they're very well done, and I know there's a significant amount of time that's involved, so I was just curious on that. The only other thing is, that I wanted to talk about was the last, on page 18, the last bullet point, it talked about, to date, over 1,300 decals have been sold. We have that many boats that come out on Evergreen Lake?
Yes,
Wow.
actually, I was talking to Chair Lehman before the meeting started. That number is up over 1,450 decals now. We're on pace to break a record. We've seen a pretty huge increase in especially our kayak usage, our kayak, people getting stickers for the kayaks. But yeah, that's a correct number.
That's a lot, so, very good. Those are, and the last thing, can you tell me what the Beach Blowout and Wacky Water Olympics is? Just curious what that entails.
It's just kids' games, basically, just different types of kids' games that we offer, like water balloon toss, relay races, things like that.
So people who are at the park are staying, you provide, on that date, you were providing activities for
Yes.
our guests.
Yes,
Okay.
it's actually open to anybody, to the public. The only fee is your entrance to the beach, and that's about it.
I think we probably need to advertise that really well.
Yeah,
So, very good, thank you.
you're welcome.
Member Byrne.
Same question, does your department currently have any outstanding invoices pending with the county auditor's office that you are aware of?
Just a couple, not very many. We had quite a few in the past, but it's getting caught up pretty well.
Any that you're aware of that are past due or close to being past due?
Yes, just a few.
And then I did have one question for you. I know one of the pieces that we've been working on or tracking with you, working on for the last few months has been the mooring docks. Just curious on what the timeline looks like to have that new mooring dock up and ready to go, especially since we're knocking at the door for a big holiday weekend for you.
Yeah, I talked to the G&H Marine out of Decatur last week, and they gave me a start date of 2 to 3 weeks. That's about all they could tell me.
Thank you very much for the update, and
Sure.
thank you for providing us all of the great information on the awesome work that your team's doing in such a busy season.
Thank
right.
you.
Let's go ahead and continue on into item number 4C. This is where we connect with our county administrator, Cassie Taylor. It looks like Ms. Taylor has a few items for action this evening. So item number 4C1A is the request approval of a grant agreement between the State of Illinois Environmental Protection Agency and McLean County. Might I have a motion to put it on the floor for discussion? We have a motion from Member Byrne and then a second by Vice Chair Soldner. Administrator Taylor, would you enlighten us on this action item?
Absolutely, it would be my pleasure, Chair Lehman. Anytime we have a partner such as the Ecology Action Center that not only brings to us a grant that they're interested in, but wants to partner with us in that said grant, it's a wonderful opportunity, and it's the way government should work. So I'm very pleased to say that the efforts of Michael Brown were positive, and we were able to receive this EECBG grant from the state of Illinois. So some of the funding for this will go for a community energy strategic plan that will be conducted through the EAC, and the rest will help us with some energy upgrades that we were wanting to do with our building, our health department building.
Thank you very much, Administrator Taylor. Comments or questions from the committee? I do have a few questions for you, if we could. So when we're taking a look at one part of the grant for the LED fixtures in county buildings, so that's associated along the lines with some of those energy audit pieces that we've been slotting into place. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, fantastic. Great to see having some grant funds be able to support some of those projects that we were already planning on.
Absolutely.
And then I was just curious if we could hear a little bit more information about what the community energy strategic plan would look like. I know we have here in our packet that it is a long-term blueprint to focus and guide efforts and actions towards a defined energy vision for a community. Just curious what that looks like on a public versus private versus governmental front, and what in particular that the EAC would be excited to be able to do, and what this could look like for the future.
So I would ask Michael Brown to come up to one of the microphones so he can help me answer this question, please. Welcome.
Is that on? Yes, okay. Yes, happy to answer that. And also, I appreciate the acknowledgement of our effort. Do want to give thanks as well to my staff member, Kelsey Bremner, who worked very hard on this proposal too. So it was not my effort alone. Thank you, Kelsey. But yes, so the CESP, or Community Energy Strategic Plan, is kind of like looking at energy efficiency for a community as a whole, because as energy usage continues to go up, the demand for energy continues to increase. The easiest way to meet that need isn't to increase capacity through generating more power, but rather through energy efficiency and doing more with the power that we have. And so building upon previous efforts by the EEC, we've done a couple studies in the past, essentially community greenhouse gas emissions inventories, which look at all of the energy usage in the Bloomington-Normal urban area per sector, private, public, commercial, industrial, looking at all the various activities and looking at, how much energy is used in each of these activities. That allows us kind of the baseline information to then start to come up with strategies to help reduce the amount of energy needed, try and prioritize areas, low-hanging fruit, but also just high priority areas where we do need to have greater efficiency. So in the end, this will help us save energy, save money, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve air quality, just all of the above in this community energy strategic plan.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that explanation.
Absolutely.
Any additional questions on, perhaps for Mr. Brown or for Administrator Taylor on it? It certainly sounds like an exciting and a robust thing to look forward to. So thank you for bringing that information to us so we kind of know what to expect along the way.
Thank you.
Seeing no other comments or questions, let's go ahead and put this item to a vote. This is Department Matters 4C1A, request approval of a grant agreement between the State of Illinois Environmental Protection Agency and McLean County. All of those in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion passes. Item number 4C1B is our request approval of an ordinance approving an amendment to the lease agreement between the Public Building Commission of McLean County and the county and providing the levy and collection of taxes to pay the rent due under the amended lease agreement. Might I have a motion to put this one on the floor? We have a motion by Vice Chair Soldner and a second, second by Member Byrne. Administrator Taylor.
Thank you, Chair Lehman. So this action item is requesting your approval to amend the lease agreement with the Public Building Commission of McLean County. This is related to an item that the board previously approved, which was us looking to refinance the bonds issued in 2015 for the expansion of the Law and Justice building. And so as a step in that process, we need to reapprove the amended lease agreement with the PBC. So this does not levy any additional funds. It's just a step in the process of looking towards refinancing.
Thank you very much, Administrator Taylor. Comments or questions from the committee? Seeing no comments or questions, let's go ahead and vote on 4C1B, the request approval of an ordinance approving the amendment to the lease agreement between the Public Building Commission of McLean County and the county and providing for the levy and collection of taxes to pay for the rent due under the amended lease agreement. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion passes. 4C2, items to be presented for information. Administrator Taylor, I believe you have 4C2A with the Highway Department resurfacing. Over to you for information, please.
Yes, thank you. So we had, would have preferred to have this as an action item this evening, but due to the requirements of the bidding for this resurfacing, we are only able to present it as information, and with the permission of Chair Lehman, we'll be presenting this as a stand-up event before the full board meeting next Thursday. And we do have Jerry Stokes from the Highway Department here this evening. Thank you, Jerry, to come and answer any questions that you might have regarding this project, but this is related to the resurfacing at the Law and Justice Center. It's a two-parter. One is for the Health Department parking lot, and the other is the west side of the Law and Justice Center, where if you're familiar with the building over by the coroner's office and the west side sheriff's entrance.
Thank you very much, Administrator Taylor. Mr. Stokes, is there anything that we should be aware of with this particular project, or that would be helpful for us to know in anticipation of receiving the actual bid information in a stand-up?
Sure. So this is going to be a project similar to what we did on the Government Center parking lot a couple of years ago, where they come in and they'll take off a couple inches of the existing asphalt, and then the contractor who is the low bidder will then put 2 inches of hot mix back. We are planning on doing a little additional work, some concrete work to help improve some of the drainage that's especially in the sheriff's, the Law and Justice Center's lot. And then we're also going to be doing some patching where some of the patrol cars park, and they kind of cause some indentations in the pavement that we need to repair. Yeah, so apologize with the stand-up. Usually we do these kind of at the end of the month and go through the proper procedures. We decided that we needed to get this out kind of sooner rather than later to give the contractor enough time to get it in their schedule and try to get this done before the weather. And we were also put in there try to get this done before the end of September. So everything's kind of done before fall and that type of stuff. So figured try to do a stand-up would give them an extra month to get it in their schedule and get it completed. So we're taking bids at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then we'll do a resolution for the low bidder and the amount, and that'll be brought to the county board on July 11th. So I'm happy to answer any other questions you guys may have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stokes. Questions from the committee, Vice Chair Soldner?
So normally on those projects, you have an engineer's estimate or some kind of an estimate. Do you know rough idea what we're talking here?
The total for both parking lots is around 165,000. And I believe, let's see, the health department is out of the ARP funds, and the Law and Justice Center is the capital improvement program funds. And so I think the Law and Justice Center is a little bit more the way it's broken out quantity wise, and the additional concrete work that we're doing at the Law and Justice Center lot.
And although it doesn't affect me, where are all these people going to park while this is going on?
So we're kind of I've already talked to facilities kind of about this a little bit, and so they're probably going to either. I think they had the crane over there and had the boiler, and they were able to park kind of catty corner from the health department building, and then we're going to have to work with the Law and Justice Center folks and see they may have to park in the parking garage or find alternatives. We have it planned to where once the contractor starts, they have to basically stay and finish. And we gave them like a 3 to 4 week time period to complete the project.
And then will there be the same number of parking spaces and the same configuration? Will there be a separate bid for the striping, or is that something that we do, or who does that?
So the highway department will take care of the striping. We've already went out and GPS where the lines go. I think we'll work with some of the sheriff's office where they park the patrol cars, because they want a little bit wider spots to be able to get in and out easier with all their gear and that type of thing. So we'll kind of do that as once we get closer to the striping portion.
Okay, and again, I guess I'm trying to get as much information ahead of the stand-up, so we at least know a little bit going into it what we're gonna face. So,
Sure.
Thank you.
Additional comments or questions for Mr. Stokes while we have him? Mr. Stokes, thank you again very much for coming in. Know that you're going to have even more information to present at the stand-up, but really do truly appreciate you coming so we can ask some of the questions ahead of time.
Sure.
Administrator Taylor, what other informational items might you have for us this evening?
I do have one other that I'd like to bring to your attention, and that is that you've received a separate email about a groundbreaking event at the Animal Control building on July 16th. So please respond to that RSVP when you see it. And it has not gone out yet. So you will be receiving one soon. And please respond as quickly as you can for RSVP purposes. What's the time on it? 8:30 a.m.
What was the date again?
July 16th. Save the date. That is all I have for this committee.
Thank you very much, Administrator Taylor. Any additional comments or questions for other business and communication from the committee? All right, seeing none, just a friendly reminder, our next meeting is going to be regular time and place due on August 8th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Yes, that is a Thursday, so we'll be back on schedule and not on a Monday this time around. But thank you all so very much for your service to the county. It sounds like everyone has been very busy, and I hope you have a fun and safe holiday experience later on this week. This meeting is adjourned.